n points in a plane, what we are doing actually, we are supposed to find a point which is inside the convex hull of these points, and we calling as some point O, and with respect to this point as an origin, and we are sorting all the points with respect to this point angular order. So if you look at this angular order, so this will be the first point, and this is the second, third, fourth. Yeah. So what we are taking a one stack, and we are putting the first 2 points into the stack, and we are looking at this first 3 points whether this making a 1, 2, 3 making a left turn at 2 or not. So it's making a left turn, so we push 3 onto the stack, and we look at this 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry, 2, 3, 4. So this is also making a left turn, so we push 4 also onto this stack. Then we are taking the next one, that is 5. Look at this 3, 4, 5. This is making a right turn at 4, middle point. So 4 can't be a part of the convex hull. We remove this one. We pop the 4 from the stack. So once you pop this one, so what we left on the stack is 1, 2, 3, and you take the top 2 and take the next one, that is 5. So look at this, whether this making the left turn or not. Okay, 2, 3, 5 is not making a left turn, it's also right turn. Okay, so 3 also can't be on the stack. Okay, so maybe I'll take this 3 little bit inside so that so 3 also can't be on this convex hull. We pop this 3 from the stack. That means basically we are you have to check the next one. Okay, 1, 2, 5. So 1, 2, 5 is making a left turn. So we move forward by pushing the 5 onto the stack. Now look at the 6 one. Okay, 2, 5, 6 is making a left turn. We push 6 also onto the stack. Similarly, 5, 6, 7. Okay, making left turn, push 7 also onto the stack. And 6, 7, 8 making a right turn. So you 7 can't be on this one. You pop the 7 from the stack. Next, you look at this 5, 6, 8. So it's a left turn. You push onto the stack. So this way proceed till the end. Okay. At end, whatever is left on the stack, okay, that forms the convex hull. So this is the algorithm what is actually proposed initially by the Graham. So if you look at this complex device, okay, so it is n log n because initial sorting is there after finding the O, that is some point inside this thing, and once you sort, you have to scan through all the points. Okay, so at each step forward, you are either pushing one point onto the stack or popping it. So number of push and pops can be at most order n. So number of stack operations only order n. So overall time complex is n log n. So, but if you look at this diagram, it has an issue. So obviously 11 and 1 can't be a on the convex hull. Okay, so this problem is coming because the starting point, ending point, if they are not part of the convex hull, so then it creates a problem. Not only the starting point, even the second point is not part of the convex hull. Also, it creates a problem. Okay, so here we are seeing that first point and last point is not part of the convex hull, and we have a problem. Okay, now why second point is not on the convex hull creates a problem? For example, you take another case here. Okay, if you take this points like this is the your O. Okay, and the first point, and suppose second point is here, and third point is here. Okay, and fourth is here. So what we are doing, we are putting the 1 and 2 onto the stack and checking whether 1, 2, 3 forming a left turn or not. So this is right turn. So the 2 can't be part of the convex hull, you remove it. Okay. So once you remove this 2, okay, you have only 1 point on the stack. So you have to check how you can check that actually. Okay. So we need a 2 points actually, and we're checking whether third point is part of the convex hull or not. That's what we're doing. But we have only 1 point on the stack, so we cannot proceed forward. So that is the problem with the second point not part of the convex hull here. So this problem is addressed by many researchers, many different ways. So everybody understood this. What is the problem here in this algorithm?
Yes, sir.
Anybody not understood why the first point, second point need to be on convex hull for the correctness of this algorithm, and similarly last point also should be part of the final convex hull.
So could you repeat it once more?
Which one you want to repeat?
The first and second point problem.
So if you look at this diagram, okay, first point and last point is part of the convex hull.
No,
Yes
sir.
or no?
No. Last.
Yeah, first point also not part of the convex hull. So basically 10 and 2 are, this becomes a boundary here. So 1 and 11 are the inside. So that can't be this thing. So whatever left on the stack, so this is the output of the gram scan. These are the vertices on the boundary. But here, this is not the correct. So why this happened is, we are starting from the first point. Okay. And if it is not on the convex hull, this is what happens. Similarly, last point, if you're not on the convex hull, this is what happens. See, these 2 points also gives a part of the output. So here only the just 1 minute. Oh. Sorry for the distraction. Okay, so now you understood why this first point and last point need to be on the convex hull, so that this algorithm gives a correct output. See, not only that, actually, if you have any number of points which are not part of this convex hull initially, okay, all these points actually creates a problem. Okay, starting and the termination case. So if you see that the red points, whatever we have actually, so all these things becomes a part of the final convex hull. So we can have any number of red points in this fashion. Similarly, at end also, we can have any number of points like this, and all these things will be output from this algorithm. For just I'm telling here in our example, initially we took one point, and point 1 and point 11 is not part of the convex hull. But we can have a large number of points like this. All this becomes part of the output. So there can be any number of points like this. So how we can identify such points? It's not possible in this algorithm. Understood the problem? Not only just one point, but there can be any number of points which are not part of the convex hull by this algorithm. Everybody understood?
Yes, sir.
So to overcome this problem, various researchers are came up with different solutions. One solution is you find a one point which is not part, which is part of the convex hull. Okay, obviously, if you look at the bottommost point, topmost point, leftmost point, rightmost point, they are part of the convex hull anyway. They are extreme point. Bottommost means lowest y coordinate, topmost point is highest y coordinate, leftmost is lowest x coordinate, and rightmost is the highest x coordinate. Okay, suppose if you take a basically what solution is, you take any one of them as a origin and you sort them with respect to that point in angular order with respect to positive x-axis. Okay, so here we'll take a one case where we use the bottommost point as the starting point. For example, you take this one here. Okay, so here this is the bottommost point, and you take this point, and this is the positive x direction. You sort them angularly. If you sort them, this is the if you assume this is the first point or 0 or whatever maybe, this is 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is the bottommost point, and this is anyway part of the convex hull. Okay, one problem is solved. Okay, and if you look at carefully, okay, point 2 also on the convex hull. Why? Because if you look at this gift wrapping, and 2 is the first point what we are computing, that is the lowest angle with respect to positive x direction. That also will be on the convex hull. So first 2 points will be on the convex hull. Okay. Similarly, this point 10, last point, which makes the largest angle, this is also part of the convex hull. So exactly symmetric to the 2 is the smallest angle, and this 10 becomes last point becomes a on the convex hull because it is the largest angle. So once the first point in the sense here, the second point here, and the last point are part of the convex hull, and Gram scan works perfectly all right. Okay, is that clear? Any questions? So here, if more than one point having this same lowest x coordinate, so maybe something like this, in that case, you can take the rightmost one. Okay. Similarly, while sorting by angular order, if more than one point making the same angle, now you take these distances and they take the furthest point here and remove these things from the sorted order, or you can sort them by either distance from this point, okay, as a secondary key. So in both the cases, it works. Okay. So if there are more than one point on the same sorted order, I mean same angle. So these 3 points here, the whatever I indicated by red here, red circle. So one way you actually can sort these 3 points by using the distance from this origin as a secondary key and can sort them. The one possibility. Or you can simply remove these 2 points, okay, which are closer to this origin, and keep only furthest point in the sorted sequence. Both the ways you can work out, and this works perfectly all right. Okay. So this way you can overcome all the problems of the gram scan. And if you look at this one, the complexity is n log n. Okay, any questions here? Okay, so I will discuss one more algorithm, that is actually divide and conquer. Of course, whose complex is also n log n. So idea here is, all of you know divide and conquer strategy. So first step is actually we sort all the points with respect to their x coordinate. Then, okay, apply the divide and conquer strategy. See, for example, yeah, let's take these points like this. Okay, suppose if you divide them into 2 halves, okay, let's take one more. Okay, so they are sorted from the x coordinate, that means left to right order. So this is the part of the left half of the points, and this is the right part of the points. Now you apply this convex hull for the left half of this one, and similarly find the convex hull right half of the points, and what we have actually something like this. So you solve these 2 subproblems recursively using the same divide and conquer strategy. Once we have this thing, what we will do, we have to find a common tangent, upper tangent and lower tangent. Okay, and remove this part. And this part, and whatever left over is actually convex hull of the original point set. So this is the overall algorithm. So what we're doing, we have sorted these points by x coordinate and divide them into 2 halves. Okay, at the middle, and find the convex hull of the first half of the points and left half of the points. Because we're using the same procedure, and find the convex hull right half of the point set. Okay, similarly, once you have solution to both the subproblems, and you have to merge the solutions to get the solution of the original convex hull, original convex hull of the original point set. Okay, so here everything is easier. Only the mid step, how to find out the convex hull of the original point set. Okay, here if you look at this diagram, we have to find out this upper tangent and lower tangent. Okay, once you find this one, you have to remove these points which are in between, okay, which are not part of this. We can remove it and form a final convex hull. So here the various issues will be there. So I'm saying that these are the common tangents. In fact, there are two more common tangents between them. Okay, one tangent will be something like this, and there will be another tangent is something like this. So these are actually the red tangents, whatever written here, there are actually cross tangents. And the black ones, whatever I drawn is upper and lower tangent. And these are what is required for the construction of the convex hull to the original point set.
Sir, can't we directly take the top 2 points and bottom 2 points?
Yeah, that's a very good observation. Okay. So everybody agree that okay, top 2 points, top point from the left hull and top point from the right hull from the upper tangent. Similarly, lower point from the left hull and lower point from the right hull from the lower tangent. So is it everybody agreed to that one? Then it becomes very simple. Merging step. Or is there any problem with this strategy? See, either everybody should agree and prove that it is correct, or if there is any counter example which this observation is not correct. Yeah, can you think of, is it correct or not? The observation, whatever mentioned just now. Yes. Anybody, how many of you are agreeing? How many of you are disagreeing this observation? Hey, think about it. You take a piece of paper and see, okay, the observation is correct or not. Take a couple of examples and see correct or not. See, whenever we want to prove any statement, okay, we have to convince ourselves the statement is true. How we convince? You have to take a couple of examples. Okay, different types of example, whatever different types we can think of, you take them and see this observation is correct or not. Okay, if keep on trying to do this with more and more examples, okay, if it is true, okay, then you convince that okay, it looks true, then maybe we try to give a formal proof saying that this statement is true. Or in the process, if you come up with a counter example, then it's disproved that statement. So this is the way one has to move forward proving any statement. So everybody should take a few examples and see yourself it is true or not. By the way, what is the last date for course adjustment, course adding? Anybody check the last date for
12th August.
12th means tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So once tomorrow is over, day after tomorrow, I'll give, okay, depending on how many students are there, what is the valuation process and what we can do, maybe some adjustments to the classes and things. Okay, so nobody came up with the counter example.
Sir,
All examples.
I think it's not right, sir. I feel I have a counter example.
Okay, good. Anybody else? Yeah, this is not correct. Because suppose let's take a point like this. Or instead of that, simply you can do it get away with these points actually. You take a convex hull like this. And here this is the topmost point. Okay. And you take the this is a okay. This is the topmost point here. Now take another this thing here, right side. Okay, and yeah, topmost point is this one. If you draw a tangent will be this one. Yes. Everybody able to see this thing?
Yes,
Topmost
sir.
point need not be upper tangent may not passes through topmost point. Okay, in this case, both the cases not satisfied, but in some cases one may satisfy, another may not satisfied. Same thing is true with the lower tangent also. Okay, the idea of the topmost point is not going to work here. See, generally what happens in geometry are when you look at this example, okay, some statement looks correct. Okay, of course, with respect to this example, statement is correct. But when you are making a statement, it has to be true for any possible scenario. Okay, so there actually we have to look at various possible input instances for which, okay, this works or not, we have to see. Okay, so topmost point is ruled out. Then how to find out the upper tangent? So once you know this some procedure for finding the upper tangent, we can use the similar procedure to find out the lower tangent. Okay, so can you think of something? See here, if you look at everything, actually, you have point size of problem of size n, and you're dividing it into two halves. Okay, of course, initially we sorted these points. If you remove that part, after sorting, we are dividing into two problems, and we are finding these two sub problems independently, and we are merging them. And if you can merge them in linear time, then overall time complexity becomes n log n. So we want to find out the upper tangent and lower tangent within the linear time. So that is our target. Otherwise, we cannot get a n log n time. So how we can get this upper tangent in linear time? That is the question.
Excuse me, sir. Maybe we can take
Yes.
the topmost point of one of the halves and then draw a horizontal line and move clockwise or anti-clockwise, and then check when it is when it is making first touching the other half's convex hull. That can be done in linear time because that would be the smallest angle.
No, we will look at this. See, complexity comes later. First of all, we have to give a correct solution to that one. Then we should think of the complexity. Okay. So first of all, we have to get the algorithm correct. Okay. So yeah, whatever you suggest that maybe works. Okay, but we have to be careful here. One way of doing it here actually is if you take this example itself. Okay, maybe we redraw it once again. So this is the left part of the convex hull, and this is the rightmost point. And similarly, you have a leftmost point on the right convex hull. So we take these 2 points, okay, say this A and B, okay, 2 points, and check whether this is the upper tangent for left hull for this one. Okay, how we can check whether this is the upper tangent for this or not? Okay, before this, we assume that points on the left hull and right hull, both of them, given in a counterclockwise order. So counterclockwise order means maybe this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like this. So similarly here also, maybe you can use a different names. Okay, maybe. Okay, 18. Okay, so how we can check whether given a 2 points on either side, one on the left hull and a right hull, whether this forms an upper tangent or not? How we can check this one? We are checking whether the upper tangent for the left hull or not.
Sir,
How we can
like
check this?
we have 2 points, so we can have equation of line in order of one time. And for example, we take the point B, then the like 15. We are now in 16. So if we check 15 and 17, if they're on different side, then the line is passing through the convex polygon. So we have to move 1 point up.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. So yeah, that's good actually. So we are looking at this line AB is upper tangent for the left hull or not. Okay. So the previous one, that is 3, and next one 5 on either side of this point A, that is 4. So it can't be upper tangent. So if you let upper tangent here, both the points are below the previous one and the next one. Okay, that is the condition what we have to check. Here, this 3 and 5 are either side, it can't be a upper tangent. Then what we will do? We move this A to this one. Now we will check whether this is a upper tangent or not. Okay, as of now, this is upper tangent because the 4 and 6 is on the same side. Okay, below this tangent AB. Okay, so we'll stop it here. Then we'll check whether the AB is upper tangent to the right hull or not, right convex polygon or not. So same thing, the previous one, that is 15, and next one 17 should be on the same side. So this is not happening here, so it can't be upper tangent. So what we'll do, we move to the previous one. So we'll take this as a next one. So we will check whether this is the upper tangent to right hull or not. Still it is not upper tangent. Again we move to the previous one. Okay. So now this is the upper tangent to the right hull. Now you check whether this is left upper tangent to the left hull or not. Again it is not. Then we move to this one. Okay. Now we'll check this 614 is upper tangent to the left hull. Yes. It is also upper tangent to right hull. Yes. Then we stop it. Okay. So what we're doing, we are taking the leftmost, okay, rightmost point on the left hull and leftmost point on the right hull. That means these two here. And whether checking it's a upper tangent left hull or not. If it is not, we are moving this A to the next one. And we are checking is it upper tangent or not. Till it becomes upper tangent, we'll keep moving it. Okay, once it becomes a upper tangent to the left hull, then we check whether this is the right tangent to the upper tangent to the right hull or not. Okay, if it is not, we move it to the previous one. Okay, until it becomes a upper tangent. Once it becomes upper tangent to the right hull, then you check for the left convex hull. So if it is not, we move to the next one. Keep moving it till it becomes upper tangent left one. If it is upper tangent left hull, then you move it to the right side and check whether it is upper tangent to right hull or not. So keep moving left and right hulls one after the other till it becomes upper tangent to both of them. Once it becomes an upper tangent, we'll stop it here. So this is the procedure. Just briefly write this one. Everybody understood the procedure?
Yes, sir.
So we have to execute this while loop till it becomes a upper tangent to the both the hulls. If it is not, then we'll check whether it is a upper tangent to this left hull or not. So we have to execute this second inner loop till it becomes upper tangent to the left hull. If it is not, we move to the next one. Similarly, we'll check, okay, this AB is upper tangent, okay. Right hull or not. If not, then what we'll do, we'll go to this previous one. So this is the two while loops within the while loop. So the similar thing what we see in the quick hull also, quicksort also. Okay. So keep moving till it brings upper hull, upper tangent for both the hulls. So is this clear? Whatever we discussed algorithm, that itself is actually written as a code here. The plus gives this next one, and here minus gives the previous one in the order of the vertices. We are assuming that points are given a counterclockwise order. Okay, is that clear?
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
How do we know this will always terminate?
See here, when you started here, okay, there is a, you'll find a 2 points for which this becomes upper tangent, no? It terminates at a time. it cannot go out, no?
Okay. So what if by the time you come to point 0.6 on the left polygon, you have already crossed point 14?
No, we are not crossed 14 actually.
Mhm.
We are at 14 only.
Okay.
Okay, we won't cross.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, maybe we can argue that actually. Okay, if you know that what these points, which are the points which form this upper tangent. Okay, so these loops cannot cross these 2 points, whatever it may be the point.
Okay.
Okay,
I
we can
see.
argue that way. We will never reach 7 or 13. Okay, in this during execution of this while loop.
Oh, so you never reach that point. Okay.
Yeah, we don't reach those 2 points.
Mhm.
We'll stop at 6 and 14 only.
Okay, that makes sense.
So now that algorithm is clear, the complexity is n log n. Is this clear? Any questions? See, these are the very simple algorithms, and you can find one of them on your own. Take this algorithm. Of course, this if you will take a book, actually there are C code is there. So don't look at the C code. Very simple algorithms, and you try to implement any of these algorithms, either divide and conquer or Graham scan. Then you will find some implementation issues. Okay, for example, here if there more than one point is leftmost point, which one you take? Okay, similarly, more than one point is here, which is leftmost point and right hull, which one you take? Okay, if more than 2 points lies on the same line. So, for example, in this case, when you are dividing these points into 2 halves, obviously you're taking the middle point in sorted order, we are dividing it. Okay, so at the time there is more than 1 point lies on this vertical line. How you divide it? When you divide it, then when you are merging it, how you find the upper tangent and lower tangent? These are some of the difficulties you will find while implementing it. Of course, you have to write a slightly, you have to handle each possible scenario, and you have to do it carefully. So I'm suggesting each one of you, okay, it's like a small programming this thing, like a CS 101 programming sort of thing. Write a code in simple C program and see actually what are the difficulties you face and whether it takes care of all possible point positions, okay, input instances, and work correctly or not. Okay, at least take all of you should take 1 or 2 algorithms, see actually what will happen. Say simple case, if you look at the sorting, okay, sorting n numbers, if all the keys are distinct, you can sort. If the 2 keys are same, okay, then which record comes before other records? Okay, so then they have to make a decision. Similar, this thing happens in the case of 2-dimensional points also. Okay, so I'm suggesting everybody should take 1 or 2 algorithms and implement it. Okay, and see what are the difficulties you face. Okay, now we have a n log n algorithm. We have discussed 2 algorithms, Graham scan and divide and conquer. Can we do better than this one? No. Okay, and we cannot do better than this. And we can prove a lower bound for this one by reducing the sorting problem to this one. That I will take up in next class. Okay. Tomorrow. Okay. So if you have any questions, ask. Otherwise, we'll stop it here. Okay. Another this thing. How is this video quality here? I mean, video quality of today's class. Is all of you able to see the white screen clearly? Any issue?
No, sir.
No issue, no? Why? Because today actually I'm sitting at home and doing this class. So at home actually network could be an issue. So that's why actually asking this. Okay, if there's no any issue, and we'll stop it here. Okay. See you tomorrow at same time.